Assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much for being with us in this very exciting journey of learning the innovative concept about English vocabulary database or English parts of speech. In the previous video, you've seen how much it is important for our educational institutions to keenly study, analyze and include this new concept in their institutions, which we have presented about now in our previous video. This isn't only for the brighter future of our new generation, but also for their balanced future. If you haven't watched that video, I suggest you please watch that too and then come back to this video. In today's video, we will learn something new about adjective, and you will be shocked to see even this adjective is somewhat misunderstood or half understood by our educational engineers, or you could call it like the syllabus designers or makers. They are basically the main engineers or the policy makers for education. And I think it should be very clear that our teachers are great teachers. They are respectable everywhere across the globe. This is not their fault. They are doing their best according to the way it is being engineered for them, right? So we should be respecting our teachers, but we should ask our system engineers, the educational engineers, to bring changes the way it should be. Now here's a question. What is the identity of adjective? Well, adjective is a good or bad quality which can be added to a noun. Remember, in the previous video we have discussed noun, and you know noun is natural and neutral entity, and by default a noun is neither good or bad unless we add some sort of good or bad qualities to a noun with the help of adjective. There are only two forms of adjectives, one is good, another is bad. Although there are many types of adjectives, but all of them totally depends upon these two forms of adjectives. I mean, types of adjectives could be either good or bad depending upon for what purpose we add adjectives quality to a noun, for a good purpose or for a bad purpose. Here's a small test for you if you want to know how adjectives are taught to us and how they affected us. Ready? Okay, let's go to some types of adjectives. Here's a very simple question for you. We have two sides, side A and side B. Which side adjectives do you think are good or bad? Number one is right or wrong. So what do you think? Which one is good? Which one is bad? Okay, please note it down. Number two, positive or negative? Easy, huh? Okay, so number three, rightist or leftist? Yeah, here's a confusion. If you are a rightist person or leftist person, accordingly you will choose, right? Okay. And big or small? Now here is a confusion. For some people, big things might be good, and for some situation or for people, small things might be good or bad. Okay, but it totally depends upon your answers now. The next one is white or black. Okay. And the other one is beautiful or ugly. Well, for most of us, this beautiful might be good, right? And the ugly might be bad. Let's see. And the last one is friend or enemy. So now, whatever answer you have chosen in your mind, but basically, first of all, we want to see the word beautiful and ugly, especially the word ugly, right? According to person A, person B is ugly. Person B is an object for person A. For one or the other reasons, maybe person B is not ugly, but one thing is very clear now, that the subjective status of person A about person B is ugly. See how this adjective ugly can be added to person A by person A subjectively. Now if you have chosen in the previous test that the adjective ugly is bad adjective quality, then just by thinking like this, you are basically adding the same bad qualities to yourself subjectively. I'm sorry. Now from this we have got two results. Number one, if we think someone else is ugly, he or she might not be ugly. And the second result, that we are basically subjectively adding the same ugly quality to ourselves subjectively. Now this is not only the question about the adjectives beautiful or ugly, which is being considered either good or bad. There's a whole list of vocabulary, other adjectives, some of them like you can see in here, especially if you see on the right side there are some adjectives like wrong, negative, and then if you go down there's enemy. All these vocabulary adjectives are basically portrayed and presented in some sort of stories is bad adjectives, right? And because of this we think they are really bad, and this totally depends upon the use of these adjectives. When you use it for a bad purpose, then these are the bad adjectives, but if you use them for the right purpose, then these are the right adjectives. There is a whole other list. If you want us to create some videos on this, definitely we would love to create more videos on this. And you see, because of all these contents and stories which are presented there in our education system, and then these things went on to the societies and cultures, and then it became parts of our politics and businesses and other institutions, and through this we are basically making a wrong perception about even adjectives which are not bad adjectives. We are actually making a bad perception. See how we are misusing the vocabulary as well, and that is the reason we sometimes do not understand what is the right word and what is the wrong word, like how to use all these vocabulary. Then it becomes more difficult for us. For example, if I may give you one example about positive or negative. Most people think please get rid of the negative thoughts. Well, thinking is just a process. It is not something negative or positive place. It is a process would be happening there, and if you consider them negative or positive, this is just your perception. But thinking or thoughts could never ever be positive or negative. They could be just processes. It totally depends upon the adjectives, what adjectives you are adding there, right? You're adding bad adjectives into your thoughts or good adjectives into your thoughts. So the adjectives are more important than the thoughts by themselves. And the second thing is, if you see the adjective positive and negative in a battery, well, both of them are important, and the same example could be then related to the social context. In a battery you have a positive and negative. If one is missing, there would be no battery concept, right? So there is much more to say about this, but especially the last one, the enemy, right? So if someone is your enemy, maybe the same person is the friend of other person. So just because of saying that someone is your enemy, it doesn't mean he or she is a bad person, right? They may be more good than you, or maybe they are equal to you, but they may not be necessarily bad people. And that is the reason our society is divided, just the way the adjectives are taught to us in our schools, and then it's spread out to the other walks of lives. You know, all these things, if you thought in the previous test that they were bad adjectives, basically these things are injected in our mind. If you see the stories, the essays, or whatever content you see, you'd be looking at this side of the B side, like wrong, negative, leftist, or maybe rightist in some cases, black or ugly or enemy. These things are considered bad adjectives, but they are not bad adjectives. I think we could say much more about this. I just spontaneously said something, maybe something, if something is inappropriate, please forgive us, and please suggest us what to do and how to do if something was wrong in this video. But this is all about today's video. Today's video was about adjective and the way it is taught to us, and the way it has affected our mentality, and the way it divided us human being from each other. I think if we want collaboration and unity and happiness and togetherness, all these things, if we want, definitely we have to get rid of the way these adjectives are taught to us. Thanks for watching Explimp English, and inshallah in the next video we will be talking about verb. Verb is also very important, and see what is in the verb. Thank you very much for watching our videos. Hopefully you will be in contact for the next video, and also subscribe the channel if you want to get the instant notification. Allah Hafiz.